أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق المصطفى في الضلال المطهر من كل آفة، البرية من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. أسعد الله أيامنا وأيامكم بمولد السيدة الطاهرة الزكية سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها، وكل عام وأنتم بخير، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من شيعتها، ورزقنا الله وإياكم زيارتها وزيارة أولادها وشفاعتها في الدنيا والآخرة ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم، آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. It is He who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers, that they would increase in faith along with their present faith. The topic of depression, unfortunately, it's increasing in this time and age, where you find most of the households, at least one person is challenging himself in many situations. One of them, that this household is going through some sort of depression. As a community, as a society, we must recognize that there are, alongside with the physical illnesses, physical diseases, there are also heart and spirit sickness. But if you compare the two, for the physical sickness, there is some kind of remedy, some kind of tablets, needles. You go to a hospital, you go to a GP, and he writes for you. If you go to a doctor, he writes for you a prescription. You take it for a couple of days. And here we are assuming we're just talking about, some sort of flu. Antibiotics, such and such, and you get better. But the bigger disease, that it's worse, it's a heart disease. It's a spirit disease. Maradul nafs, maradul ruh. One of them is this, depression, that needs to be addressed in the community, in the society. Before we do that, we must recognize the disease. We must recognize that this actually exists. Because in today's age and time, unfortunately, we do have other people that they say, I have depression because of one little thing, He just wants to be counted as well. Therefore, you find him saying such a thing, that I also have depression. But there are levels of depression. There is the very mild level, and then it goes up to clinical level, that needs to be addressed, needs to be recognized, needs to be examined by a professional, by a psychologist or a psychiatrist, because it's a clinical disease. It has come to the point that you need professional help. You need tablets, you need many things for you to calm down. As a society, now let's talk about the mild up to the medium one that we have. First of all, it needs to be recognized. We have to recognize it. Like now, we recognize that there is Omicron we recognize that there is COVID-19. Whether we like it or not, it exists. Now, someone comes and says, no, it doesn't exist, it's all a delusion, it's all a fake propaganda by the media. You know, everyone has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. But when it comes to a sickness like depression, it needs to be recognized, number one. Number two, for it not to be ignored if someone has it. If we see someone is really depressed to a point that this person doesn't want to interact with anyone else. That person wants to be in his house, indoor, 24/7. He doesn't want to socialize. يعزل نفسه, we say in Arabic. And he lives a very solitude life, that I want to be isolated. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to gather any gatherings and such. That needs to be addressed as soon as possible and cannot be ignored. Because if you look at our centers, if we look at our communities, for example, this very mosque, this mosque can do a lot of things, not just lectures, not just 1 or 2 lessons during the month. No, it can do much more than that. Workshops that you bring on professional, qualified individuals addressing these things that are a big concern in the community. It's beyond this, because today, in this time and age, you have to think outside of the box. You cannot think just in a straight line, because life is not a straight line. Life has a lot of obstacles, has a lot of issues. Now, number 3 is, of course, to address it, and number 4 is to discuss and look for solutions. Now, if you look at the signs of depression, and unfortunately we have this disease, and the youngsters, the youth also have interacted this, have taken it on. Even though they live a comfortable life, but yet they have taken this illness, that disease, and sometimes the parent, they don't want to believe that they have it. Because in some cultures, for a person to seek professional help when it comes to these kind of things, mental, if they have any anger issue or depression or anxiety, and the list goes on, if they see a psychologist or psychiatrist, they immediately label him as this person is insane. And that's not true. This person is not insane. This person saw that he has a problem, and he's addressing that problem. Actually, that shows that this person is looking for a solution. He's looking for something that can make him a better person. So for a person to be labeled as such, and no one wants to interact with them because they are in search of a professional help, that's not the right way we are addressing these people, or we interacting with them, or we reflect upon what they're doing. That's wrong. Now, if you categorize it, of course there is more than 3, but because of the time, let's go through this 3 list. Number 1 is the feelings of that person. And if you see that you might have it, you might see others have it, you should address this. Let's first recognize the illness, address it yourself, and see what kind of illness this is, and then we go to the solutions that we have when it comes to Islamic perspective. Islamically, we have many verses, we have many supplications that address this. Islam doesn't ignore such a thing. Islam doesn't say, no, this does not exist, it's not in your mind, and ignore it. Sometimes you speak with anyone, you say, I have depression, Ahmadallah, go thank God. Yes, of course, this is one of it, one of the solutions, but there is a whole list of ways that you can recognize, address, and tackle it. Now, number 1 is feelings. This person is overwhelmed. The plate cannot take more than this, but you keep putting on it more and more and more, he becomes overwhelmed. And he cannot take care of himself. He can't take care of the surrounding, so he becomes depressed. Number 2, guilty. Number 3, irritable, frustrated, lacking in confidence. I'm just going through the list. Unhappy. intensive, disappointed, miserable, sad, and always negative. It's depression is alongside to it, under the umbrella of depression, is positivity versus negativity. If you have seen lots of people in your life, you've seen a person who's positive, and of course you see a person who's negative. A positive person, he's always happy. He's always happy. She's always happy. They see the beauty of life. No matter how good or bad it is, for them it doesn't make any difference. They see the beauty of life. They see different solutions. They see different opportunities. But a negative person, even if you show them the best in life, they're negative. That's it. For example, you take them out today in this weather, beautiful weather. Let's go out. But you drive around a bit, maybe 5-10 minutes. You don't find a parking spot because it's Australian Day. Everyone is out. They're celebrating for Australia Day. And it's a bit hard to find a good spot to come down and have a picnic. For example, a positive person says, okay, let's go to another place. Alhamdulillah, beautiful weather. Everyone is out. Everyone is enjoying themselves. You see the smile on the face. But a negative person, look, did I tell you let's stay home? Did I tell you let's just watch some Disney, some prime time, let's watch this, let's watch that? Why are we out? Why are we coming out? See, that's the difference. Even if you take them to the most beautiful spot in New South Wales, in Sydney, they still tell you, why am I here? Why am I? Look at the food is not that hot, or the food is not cold. After this, we want negative people, they never see beauty in life. And that triggers depression because they're never happy, no matter what you do for them. But a positive person, always there is a smile on their face. Even if they see their house burning down, they think, well, that gives me opportunity, a chance to rebuild another, maybe a better house. See, the mentality is way different. Even if they see a calamity in front of them, your house is burning down. Yet this person says to you, well, that gives me a different option, doesn't it? That now I can build a bigger house maybe. Well, all life is on fire. A negative person, even if they come and they remodel the house, new furniture, new painting, I didn't like that color. That color wasn't right. That sofa wasn't right. This wasn't right. A negative person is that person. Always negative triggers what? Depression. Because there are many reasons for it. Now, those are the feelings. Now the thoughts. The thought is this, and you might heard them, or you might yourself have them. I'm a failure. I can't do anything. I'm useless. Why am I alive? It's all my fault. Nothing good ever happens to me. Have you heard of that? And this is, we hear it a lot because they're talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessings. Especially when they see some other people, they got something better than them. They always say that nothing is good happening for me. I see others, they have such and such. They purchasing new houses, new cars, new gaming console and all that. So what do they say? The thought there is what? Nothing good ever happens to me. I'm worthless. I'm useless. Life not worth living. And this comes to the point they think about suicidal thoughts. Why am I alive? If I'm not liked, loved by anyone, I can't do anything right. Whatever I get my hands on, it fails. Whatever I do doesn't succeed. I can't do anything right. House, I can't run it right with my family. I can't have just a normal conversation with my spouse, with my partner. I can't have a normal conversation with my siblings. I can't have a normal conversation with my family members or friends. And then the list goes on to the point that there is no worth living in this life. Why am I even alive? Let's look for a way to end it. And this comes to the point that unfortunately today, in this time and age, as soon as you write on Google, suicidal thoughts, how do I kill myself? Straight away you find numbers helplines, you know. Call this number. Call them right now, 24/7, 24/7. Call them right now. Speak to them. And the suicide rate from 2000 has skyrocketed from before. And you might think, why? We can find 10, 20, 100 ways to make our lives more comfortable. But yet we have people who are committing suicide. For example, in Japan, they have a whole forest where they go there, they stay there for a night or two, and then they end their lives. And they say this is a forest of, demons and devil and such and such. An advanced country like Japan has this kind of mentality for some people. They give up on life. They give up. When you give up on life, this is what happens. And when you are negative, this is what happens. You come to depression, and it becomes clinical depression, and you don't seek help because fulan and fulan and fulan, this person, that person said to you, this is not right. Why are you seeing a doctor? Why are you taking tablets? Maybe this medicine is for me to become better. And of course, alongside with that, we have the solutions from the book, from the Quran al-Kareem, from other things. So, of course, they say people would be better off without me. And then when it comes to the physical part, and this is when it takes its toll, because we have the feelings, the thoughts, and then the physical. The third one is the physical. And that is, they are tired all the time. They're always tired. They're always tired, no matter how much they sleep, no matter how much they take rest, they're always tired. And they're always sick and run down. And even if they walk, they're tired and they're always sick and run down. You speak to them, oh. Yeah, it's like you're pushing a train on its last, fuel. You're pushing it until for it to go there. Anywhere. Just get somewhere. Go somewhere. Do something. No. Don't get me involved in anything. And of course, there is the headaches and the muscle pains, and then the turning of the gut, the stomach is always nervous, and then the sleep problems. As soon as they put their head down on the pillow, hundreds of thoughts and dreams comes to their mind rushing. And then you have loss or change of appetite, and then significant weight loss or gain. And of course, the last one is also the one we spoke about, and that is thoughts of suicide. This is the last, thing they think of that. This is it. I have to end it. And of course, this is not the end. This is just going to be the beginning of new problems. But for them, they think about this materialistic world. That I can end it here. That's it. I had enough. Let me end it at this point because I am done. Now, we said that depression is a problem. But what versus depression? Hope. Amal. Amal, hope, versus depression. And we have the story of Isa. Isa, Jesus, you know Isa? You heard of him? Isa, one day he was walking and he saw a farmer. This farmer was, digging the ground. He was plowing. He was putting seeds. He was taking care of his land. And he was doing it perfectly. Isa was standing there and Isa was observing him. He was watching him. And then Isa said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he addressed God. He said, Jesus addressed God, and he said to God, God, take away from him hope. Hope, because you have it. We have this. It's a feeling. It's something that we have inside of us. Isa asked this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh God, take away from him hope. Allah took away hope from him. The same farmer who was working hard on his land, he was plowing, he was putting the seeds, he was watering it, he was taking care of the land, he suddenly stopped. And he went and he just sat down. And he didn't do anything. Nothing. And he was sitting there for hours. You see the hope there? What difference it makes? Now, after this, after Isa was observing him that he sat down, suddenly he stopped working because there is no hope, and he sat down. Isa said to God, God, give him back the hope that you took from him, the hope that he had. Allah gave it back to him. The same farmer who was sitting down under the tree and he had no hope anymore, when he possessed the hope again, he got up from his place and he went running, rushing to the land, and he started working again. Now, what do we learn from this story? We learn that if you have hope, what happens? You have that energy, that drive, that you want to get somewhere. If you have that is a big, big energy that fights off depression. Because you have that amal, that hope, that you think tomorrow, maybe inshallah, when I grow up, I can go to university, I can get my engineering degree, I can become a doctor, whatever it is, and then I can work, make money, buy a house, get married, have children, and then I can travel the world. See, this is all hope. You have hope about what will happen in the future. But the person who's depressed, he's always thinking about the past, what happened before. And that person, the same person who has depression, he's thinking about the past, and he's also thinking about the future. Don't think that he's not thinking about the future, but the difference is he's thinking that his future will be all mayhem, chaotic, the worst possible scenarios. He's negative. He thinks tomorrow that I'm going to start a new business. This business is going to become big business, and then tomorrow after that, I will be sued, and after that, people will take everything from me, and after, see, the negative thoughts there, he's not thinking about something positive. Yeah, inshallah, tomorrow we start something nice, some new business, we're going to have a great adventure, and inshallah, this also brings us money, and this will become this great, very nice business that I can pass on to my children, and they can pass on their children, and it's going to be this flourishing business. But a negative person, tomorrow the whole building is going to be on fire. I'm going to lose everything. That's why you see entrepreneurs that are not negative. An entrepreneur is not negative. They're always positive. And they will make you believe in the dream. They will make you believe in the dream, no matter how ridiculous the dream is. For example, there was a person, if you look at YouTube, there is a program called Shark Tank. Have you heard of it? Shark Tank. They come with a device, they come with a new invention, and they show it to some, investors, and they tell them that this is a good thing to invest in, and tomorrow this will take off the market. And you see a lot of people there, failures, because he himself he's not 100% with the project. He doesn't believe in it. The dream that he has, even though he has that dream, he cannot convey the message rightfully. So you see a lot of people, they fail. One of the people that he was successful and he made a killing and he sold his company for more than $1 billion was the person who came up with Ring. Have you heard of Ring? For the doorbell? He came and he said, the idea was that my wife was working in the kitchen, and if someone knocks on the door, she doesn't hear them. But if we get a device, we put it in front of the door, you knock on it, you press the bell, and that shows on the phone. And he believed in the dream. You can hear him. The dream was there. Great idea, and the dream, he believes in it, and he's conveying the message to the investors. They bought that from him, as in they invested with him, and then Amazon later on, they bought Ring from him. So if you go to Amazon, you write Ring, it's owned by them because they saw this is a great idea. Whoever enters in a field like technology, they have to have that dream. They have to be positive to have the dream. If they are negative, and the investors, they listen to this person. An investor listens to every word they say. An investor once told me, we were in a conference, and there was a person who was telling us about his product, and he wasn't confident at all. So he said one thing wrong. He said, maybe. He just said that word, maybe. As soon as he said maybe, all the investors, the senior investors, they heard many lectures, and they've seen a lot of products. They said, we don't want to be involved. Because he said maybe. maybe this product will take off. Maybe this is going to be a good product. As soon as he said maybe, that means he doesn't believe in it. You have to believe in it yourself. So that dream comes from a person who's positive. A person who's negative, no way. No, he doesn't have that. And hope brings you to this. Hope brings you to that if you have hope, you can fight off depression. And so some of the treatments of depression, when it comes to Islam, we have our Islamic way. Of course, we have our own Islamic perspective when it comes to fighting off depression. But first thing first, and I like to mention this as the first one from the list because I have 10 of them here, and that is to see a doctor. Why do we say that? Because Islam actually encourages you to see a physician. Islam encourages you to see a professional help. Unlike other religions, they might say, no, this is it. No, Islam tells you, go seek professional help, and that will be the solution. Alongside with that, of course, definitely you have to have that of Islamic perspective and Islamic way that can help you fight off this disease. So number one, of course, we said, seeing a doctor. Number two, recitation of the Quran al-Kareem. Now when I say recitation of the Quran al-Kareem, this is the holy book. We are getting closer and closer to the holy month of Ramadan. Few days, Shahr Rajab, and then Sha'ban, and then Shahr Ramadan al-Mubarak. Many of these books, this Quran, if you go to the houses, they have eaten dust, unfortunately, because no one reads them throughout the year except for the month of Ramadan. But if we recite the Quran, when I say recitation of the Quran, I don't mean just go, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, okay, Surah Yusuf, and then turn the page, and then turn, La Habibi, not like that, not like that. This is not recitation of the Quran with tama'un. What you do is you recite the ayat and you look into the meaning of the ayat. You look into the stories behind these ayat. Because this is nur. Quran al-Kareem is nur, it's light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this miracle. He has bestowed upon us, the Muslims, this miracle. Not just the Muslims, the world. Whoever wants to use it, they can use it. So, recitation of the Quran al-Kareem is a very good step forward to fight off these feelings, depression. When it comes to depression, when you recite at least 100 ayah a day. 100 ayah. Because we have a hadith from Imam al-Sadiq that says, whoever is a Muslim must recite 100 ayah a day. If they don't, they're not Muslim. 100 ayah is Surah al-Waqa'ah, that is 96 ayat. And you can recite Surah al-Ikhlas. Altogether it becomes 100 ayat. All right? Or you can choose any other surah. It can be more. It can even be more. But if a person who has a routine, every day he wakes up and he recites Surah Yasin. Every day he wakes up and he recites Surah Talaq, for example, or Surah Al-Hashr, or Surah Al-Imran, or Surah Al-An'am, or Surah Al-Waqa'ah. Whatever the surahs we have in the Quran, we have 114 surah. But he has that routine. Every morning before I go to work, or even my route to work or to school, I listen to this surah. That cleanses his soul. So it doesn't give way for depression to get in. وَأَنَّهُ هُوَ أَضْحَكَ وَأَبْكَى. Moreover, he is the one who brings about joy and sadness. Who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَضْحَكَ وَأَبْكَى. He's the one who makes you smile, makes you joyful, and he is the one who puts you in sadness. And there is reasons for that. For example, a person was sitting next to Imam al-Sadiq, listen to this, and he said to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, I'm depressed sometimes. I'm depressed. And I don't know for the reason for it. I look everywhere for the reason behind it. Financially, I'm okay. My family, they're all, alhamdulillah, all healthy and everything is fine. Business-wise, everything is good. Health-wise, everything is good. Everything is top-notch. Nothing, no problems, no complaints. But suddenly I become depressed. I have ka'abah. The Imam Ali Abdul Salati Wasalam said to him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all human beings from the same material. Okay? And if you sometimes feel that depression is because your brother in Islam is also in a calamity. Maybe he's in a calamity, so you feel his calamity. You feel his sadness. And it's contagious sometimes. You see his sadness. So if someone now goes to a Fatiha, and you see all the people in the gathering, they're crying and remembering that person who passed away, you also become upset. But if you have a celebration for Imam, for Ma'soom, because you see everyone is joyful, everyone is clapping, everyone is saying Asadallah ya maqam, everyone is happy, you also become happy. So the Imam alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam said, a Muslim, he becomes ka'ib. That means he becomes depressed because his brother in Islam is depressed. That has an impact on him. We have a lot of recitations of the ad'iyah that can help. Supplications. For example, this dua, listen to the meaning of this dua and you find if this is in the area of what we're speaking right now. And that is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzn. This is the dua narrated from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzn wal-ajaz wal-kasal wal-bukhl wal-jubni wa dhal'u ad-dayn wa ghalabatu ar-rijal. O Allah, I seek refuge with you from worry and grief. Worry and grief, because you're saying Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzn. Ham and huzn, that is worry and grief. And then you mention the other ones, ajaz, kasal, bukhl, jubn, wa dhal'u ad-dayn, wa ghalabat ar-rijal. So kasal is when someone doesn't do anything. And he's saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my God, and I ask you, oh God, and I seek refuge that you protect me from this. Because whoever has the same days, that means the same days just keeps repeating itself on him, and he doesn't progress in life, he has lost big opportunities. Big opportunities. So today is what? Wednesday? Your Wednesday was like your Tuesday. Your Tuesday was like your Monday. Your Monday was like your Sunday, and then Saturday. It doesn't matter what month we're in. It doesn't matter what day we live in. It doesn't matter what year. It's always the same. When that happens, what happens? You have lost a lot of opportunities in front of you. I'll give you an example. Couple of years ago, a person came up with Bitcoin. Have you heard of Bitcoin? Yes? There was a meeting, you can find it on YouTube. The first meeting that they held for Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency. Yes? The first meeting they had in a big hall for Bitcoin. There was only one person sitting down in the crowd. Only one person. There was no crowd. There was no one. There was just a sea of chairs, just one person sitting. At that time, Bitcoin was $100. $100. Right now, today, Bitcoin, because of the market is a bit down now, is $37,000. 100, 37,000. Of course, it goes up. It goes to 60, 70,000, and they're even predicting for it to go to $100,000. That meeting, that conference, just one person was sitting down and he was listening. Where were the rest of the people? They just left. They said, this is never going to take off. No one is going to listen to it. And cryptocurrency, that was something new. And Bitcoin was the first. And then later, after Bitcoin, came what? Ethereum. And then after Ethereum, Solana. And then Terra. And today we have more than, I don't know, maybe 400 of them, 500 of them. Every day there is a new Bitcoin. There is a new cryptocurrency. So everyone is doing something. But if you think that my day is the same as yesterday and let it be because I just want to chill, this is not the way of Islam. Islam tells you do something. Do something. Progress in life. Innovate something. Get into different ways of business. Find different ways to make money. This was the third one. And there is recitation of supplication. And we have different ones. You have definitely different supplications when it comes to fighting off depression. And then we have number 4, and that is connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allama al-Amini, Radwanullah ta'ala alayh, he's the one who wrote the Encyclopedia al-Ghadir. Very, very important book in Shia Islam. He said that whenever sadness comes to me in my heart, I get up, I perform wudu, ablution, I stand, I pray 2 rak'at. And I give that 2 rak'at hadiyya to Sayyida Fatima al-Zahra or to Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdhalu salati wassalam. He said, after I do that, I feel like someone has put down their hand and they have cleansed all of that feeling from my heart. I don't feel that ham, gham, that ka'aba, that depression. I don't feel anything. Especially you boys, shabab, you youth. Getting up before Salat al-Fajr. Now Salat al-Fajr is about 4:37. If you get up before Salat al-Fajr, 4 o'clock, half an hour before that, pray Salat al-Layl. It's easy, very easy to pray. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whoever prays Salat al-Layl, I give them rizq. Don't you want money? We all want money, huh? I want to buy new gaming console. I want to buy new games. I want to buy new phones. I want to buy... Yeah, you want that. You're not always going to get it from your parents. You want your own money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, one of the ways that I increase your substance is you pray Salat al-Layl. I put light in your face. That means you have nur. You have nur. I give you blessings, afiyah, health. And the list goes on and on. And of course, I clean up all that, what? That sickness, that disease from your heart. I cleanse it. How do I pray Salat al-Layl? Salat al-Layl is 11 rak'at. 11 rak'at. 4, like Salat al-Subuh, 2, 2, 2, 2. Too hard? It's not hard. 2, 2, 2, 2. And then we have Salat al-Shaf'. Salat al-Shaf' is 2 rak'at. On the first rak'ah, after Surah Al-Hamd, you recite Surah what? Surah Al-Nas. And the second rak'ah, after Surah Al-Hamd, you recite Surah Al-Falaq. And the last one is only 1 rak'ah. That one is a bit hard, but I'll give you the easiest way to do it. Easiest way. That is called Salat al-Watr. It's 1 rak'ah. Only 1 rak'ah. If you can't do all 11 rak'at, just do Salat al-Shaf' and Watr. 2 rak'at and 1 rak'ah. That means it's going to be 3 rak'at. Separate. So 2 and then 1. Salat al-Watr is like this. You say Allahu Akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We recite Surah Al-Fatiha. After Surah Al-Fatiha, it's mustahab that you recite 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas. After 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas, you recite Surah Al-Nas. Then you recite Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Falaq. And then you do the qunut. You do the qunut. Yes? In the qunut, we have many a'mal. It's good to have one of those things, and you can buy them online. The tasbih, electronic tasbih. Yes? So you can track down how many dhikr you said. They're very cheap online. Yes? So after I start doing the qunut. What do I recite in the qunut? What do I say in the qunut? You say 70 times astaghfirullah. Easy. You can say astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Yes? After 70 times astaghfirullah, you say 7 times هذا المقام العائذ بك من النار. You can say that. And then after that, you recite 300 times al-afu. Al-af, al-af, al-af. How many times? 300 times. After that, you mention the name of 40 people, individuals. For example, Sayyid Fadl is Sayyid. For example, Al-Hajj, Ism Al-Hajj. My mother, my father, my brother. You mention 40 names. Now, this is a bit hard. Maybe you might say this is way too much. You can just do istighfar. You just put your hand up and you say 70 times astaghfirullah. Easy. 70 times astaghfirullah and you're done. And then you go to ruku', sujood, salat al-layl. You have performed salat al-layl. First time it might be a bit challenging. Second time, easier. It becomes very easy. And then your own soul, your ruh, even if you don't have any alarm set, it will wake you up. Get up and pray. Because we need that connection. That connection between you and the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we spoke about this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number 4. Number 5, cleansing of the soul from all other sicknesses. Any other sickness. When it comes to ghiba, namima, kadhib, if you cleanse yourself and you start thinking, I'm living my life, why am I getting involved with other people's lives? You're not going to have any issue when it comes to depression. Because the people who are depressed, they always look at other people. And that's the issue they have. That's a problem they have. Number 6, forget the past and focus on the future. Of course, the past is our life, our experience. We learn from the mistakes of the past. But we have to build the future with it. Ma fata fat. What past has passed. But you take the past and you do something good with it. Not to focus on the past, on your failures. Focus on something that is going to be positive in your life in the future. Number 7, discuss it with someone close to you. And that's very important. If you have any of these feelings, discuss with someone with you. Someone very close, a friend, a family member. But the best person, the best individual you can discuss with, of course, your parents. What comes above that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah knows what's in your heart. Allah knows what you want. So you speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You speak with Him. You say, God, I want this, I want that. Okay? That brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you have this special relationship with Allah the Almighty. Number 8, looking into a lot of motivational speakers and speeches. If you go online, you see a lot of, worthless, waste time materials. I can sit down and watch for hours someone who talks about nothing. Yes? Online. I can sit down and watch someone who's, not me, I'm not playing, but I can see someone who's playing. I can see someone sitting down and playing, I don't know, Fortnite or whatever. This is waste of time. Same time, on the same platform, on YouTube itself, as soon as you write motivational speakers, motivational speeches, you find hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. That gives you a boost. Like, look at this guy with no hands, with no legs, and look at him what he has done. Look at this guy with cancer. He fought cancer 3 times, and he has also, with all this disease, he has done something in his life. He has impacted people. So looking at those things is very important. And of course, we have number 9, and that is very important. Trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Some people have trust in that pill more than they have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who pays you? Who provides for you? Who feeds you? Who do you think feeds you? You think your parents? You think the government? No. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you come to that understanding and you believe in that, you will no longer have any worries in life. Who has full and absolute trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what happened to Ibrahim. Ibrahim alayhi salam, when they came to him, the angels, and they said to Ibrahim, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to help you? He said, no. All the angels. He refused their help. He declined it. He said, I don't want it. I want from God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped him. Even the imams, they always wanted from God. They said, why am I going through you? I go to Allah, directly to Allah, the Almighty. But we, as normal, ordinary human beings, we need someone that can hold our hands. And we run after them, we say, Ya wajihan indallah, ishfa' lana indallah. Ya wajihatan indallah, ishfa'i lana indallah. And who are those people? The infallibles. We have the imams. We have Lady Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha. We have Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Someone who has this trust, it doesn't matter what calamity strikes him, the issues that he has. He always looks for this light in darkness. If I turn all these lights off, Shabab, if I turn all these lights off, and I put there, just right in the middle of the mosque, one small candle, does it show or doesn't show? It shows. If I add to that candle another candle, and then another one, and then another one, what happens? The whole place gets lit up. And we have 14 infallibles that can lit up our life. And number 10, and the last one before we go to Salah, is change of scenery. Always try to do something new. Have you heard of bucket list? before they hit the bucket, they say. They have a whole list. I want to go skydiving, I want to go there, that. You should all have this. Change of scenery. Life is about adventure. We should learn from it, and we should perfect ourselves, of course, when it comes to life. We have to become better and better in life, and definitely have a stronger relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with the infallibles. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة اللهم عجل فرجه سهل مخرجه اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين صل على محمد وآل محمد.